Hey everybody. The other day I put a video out called Friday Night Love Lost or Lost Love Blues. I'm not sure how the words strung together, but then I got a request from somebody to show how I did that playing that I did on the video. And if you haven't seen it, it's basically a blues where there's no singing, there's just playing. And it was in A, and basically it's this kind of playing. So it's that kind of playing. And so it'd be very hard for me in a video that I can post on Facebook to show you everything that I did in that, because in the first place I improvised it, so I don't really remember it all. I'm sorry, I don't remember it all, but I can tell you what I was doing in the concept. All I was doing was taking chords and connecting them using single note lines on top or on the bottom of the chord. Okay, so the chord that I based it on was an A13, which is a form of A7th. It's just got an extension. That's an A7th. That's an A13th. And the way you make that chord is you take your first finger, put on the 5th fret on the E string, your second finger, 5th fret on the D string, your third finger, 6th fret on the G, and then you bar the B and E strings with your pinky. And for the A string, you don't let it ring, you let the fat of this finger kind of choke it out, which isn't hard for me because I got a lot of fat on that finger. So that's how you do it. And that way it doesn't ring out. So then for D in the blues progression, you know, because then it's going to go to that D ninth chord. What I would do is walk the top two notes down to that D ninth chord. So I would play the A13, and then I would go. Okay, and all I'm doing there is taking the pinky off and letting the third finger bar the top three strings at the 6th fret. So it's getting this, right? And that's it. That's how I connected those two chords for the most part. Okay. Also, I used a different kind of turnaround that I'm going to show you that works like this. It's like a... Okay, that took the place of... Right, kind of see how that works. Maybe took the place of is the wrong thing to say, but anyway, you see where it fits in. So what all that is you're going from an A to an F sharp 7th chord, which is you just take like a C7th and move it all the way up to where your first finger, where it would normally be for C7th on the 1st fret, is on the 7th fret. Right? And then you play a B 7th chord. And the way I play that chord, I either will do a B 7th like a minor 7th, which is, or I will do a B 7th. And I just use these three string fingers here, and I just put the first finger on the 9th fret, the second finger on the 9th fret, on the E string, and then the D string, and then the third finger on the not the 9th, the 7th fret, and then the third finger on the 8th fret on the G string. So, first finger 7th fret E string, second finger 7th fret D string, third finger 8th fret G string, and then I just choke that one and don't play the top two. Okay, and then you do the same thing, that C7th formation for an E, to where your first finger is then at the 5th fret. Okay, now I changed that around so that I can move the top notes around and make it flow. And like, okay, now what I did there was this. Played that A13 I showed you, and then I played the Jimi Hendrix chord, which is your second finger is on the A string on the 9th fret, your first finger is on the D string on the 8th fret, your third finger's on the G string on the 9th fret, and your pinky is on the 10th fret on the B string. And then I took that note at the pinky and walked it down. Did you hear how I connected it? Right? That's all I'm looking to do. But the way I did it was by using chords as well. So I made a C7th, just like I did the B7th that I showed you. But I took my first finger and stuck it on the B string on the 7th fret, and it got that. And then hit that note my pinky's sitting on. Move that down. So basically, instead of playing it with my first finger in the root position, I moved my second finger, so it would be 8th. Second finger on the 8th fret on the E string, third finger on the 8th fret on the D string, pinky on the 9th fret on the G string, and the first finger on the 7th fret on the B. And just choke that again with finger fat, which I have plenty of. And then I just move that down to where I'm just playing that B7th chord. And then, so all I'm doing then is going, and it moves me right back down to that A, that starting point. Alright, so that's all I'm doing, is things like this. And then, you know, I mean, you can do all kinds of stuff. Take the 13th. I'll show you another way to make a 13th chord. And you can move it around this way. You're going to leave off the bottom two strings on this one. I do it this way. It's probably not correct, but then again, like I said, I've had a very hard time kind of figuring this stuff out. Okay, so you take your first finger and bar it across all four of the top strings. Then you're going to take your second, at the 5th fret. Alright? Then you're going to take your second finger, put it on the 6th fret on the G string, and your pinky, and put it on the 7th fret of the B string. And then you just move that up. All that goes from the 5th fret to the 8th fret. Then you move it down one, move it down one, move it down one. The other thing you do is pull it up there, but then keep that top note by taking your third finger and putting it on the 8th fret on the E string, and then letting the pinky bar at the 8th fret, and then, so I mean, there's a ton of stuff you can do, but that's the concept that I was using. I connected chords together using lines as part of the chord, I guess you would say. And in between, I just played whatever blues licks I knew, you know. the last thing I'll say, and then I'm going to try to post this. It's probably too long, but I'm going to try. I got a lot of that stuff out of a book called The Guitar Style of Joe Pass. For some reason, I got the thing. I worked my way through it. I'm still not a good jazz player, but I like playing blues, and I wanted to incorporate that style into my blues playing. So if you want to learn more about how to do all that stuff, you learn that book, and, you know, the world is your oyster.